AITAH for talking back to my in-laws when I felt disrespected. Posted on r/AITAH 1 year ago. I need some advice because this situation has me second-guessing myself. My husband and I come from different cultures, and I'm trying to understand if I'm genuinely wrong here or if this is a cultural difference I'm not navigating well. Or I should indeed not admit such behaviors towards me. Here's what happened. My relationship with my in-laws is pretty tense, and I'm constantly stressed about it. My husband told me that I shouldn't talk back to his parents, even if I feel they're wrong. Recently, we had guests at the house. My mother-in-law explained what food we could eat before they arrived and what should be saved for later. Later, when he wanted to have lunch, my husband said, "We should ask Mom what we can eat." I replied, "You can eat X, Y, Z. She already explained it to me." Then, my father-in-law jumped in and said, "You better ask her. You talk too much, you talk too much." I was taken aback and replied, "No, I'm not just talking for the sake of it, I already know, but I admit I said it in a pretty upset tone." I felt like he was accusing me of being careless. So now I'm wondering, AITAH for standing up for myself? Should I have handled this differently? Is there a better way to navigate situations like this without escalating tension? I'd love to hear your thoughts, especially if you've dealt with cultural differences in relationships. Relevant comments. Commenter. NTA at all, husband is too much of a wimp to stand up to his parents, and they know it, hence why they treat you as an extension of their son. They control son, therefore they control you. You hardly spoke back, you told them the information they wanted. I wouldn't even bother being around them, as I'd rather be spoken bad about than be constantly walking on eggshells and not being able to do anything right. You have a colossal issue with your partner there though. This will never get better until you make yourself heard. OP in response. Thank you, yeah, I agree it's an issue, and I ignored completely how dependent he is from his parents. The other episode one posted recently was about them sort of demanding I tell my plans and they tell me what to do, which is something I'll not do at all. Commenter. NTA, your mother-in-law sounds like a ballbuster who has her husband and her son completely beaten down. But your problem really isn't your in-laws. Your problem is your husband. Until he takes back his balls and stands up to them, there is not much you can do without being seen as the bad guy.
White Abyss here. It's clear that she doesn't get a lot of respect in the household with her in-laws. This is also partially an issue too with her husband not really standing up for her and just wanting her to sort of roll over for his parents. So it sounds like she needs to really talk to him about these issues and have him back her up a little bit.
Second post, not ready to be a mother, posted on r/confessions 1 year ago. Married for 6 months, 27F, seems like time is ticking. I plan to do my master's, which would take me at least a year or two to finish depending on the program. I still want to advance myself in my career, but I feel the pressure of having a baby, so he can already exist and slowly grow while I am doing everything else, but if you ask me, I'm not ready at all. And it's all confusing as how I'll manage having a baby, study, work, and have little time for myself. I also still feel like a kid, lol, help. Relevant comments. Commenter. I still feel like a kid, do not do it. Please, I am genuinely telling you, your best idea is therapy. Because this doesn't need a baby, it needs you. Take care of yourself, lot going on RN. Commenter. You have plenty of time before you need to think about having kids still. Having a baby is paradigm shifting, and you may not have any interest in pursuing your passions as you did before baby. Also, brain power diminishes noticeably with pregnancy and breastfeeding if you end up doing that, so you might want to do as much of the big brain stuff you can before you get pregnant. Commenter. Bruh, you have the rest of your life to have children. I understand there is a biological clock on having children, but you're only 27, so you still have plenty of time. And you said you only got 2 years left to get your master's? You're so close, go get that crap. 'Cause once you have kids, you might not have the time and energy to put into school. Be patient, don't rush things. OP in response. I'm thinking of enrolling for fall 25. Thank you for the comment.
White Abyss here. If she's having any doubts about having kids, it's probably too soon. Honestly, it sounds like she needs to have a conversation with her husband about her timeline, about how she feels about having kids in this moment, and how she wants to finish her degree and whatnot and go from there. She definitely sounds like she's not mentally ready for kids yet.
Third post, AITAH for not helping my parents-in-law move out? Posted on r/AITAH 9 months ago. Long story short, my parents-in-law are hoarders. Out of nowhere, they decided to leave the country with just 2 months' notice, and now they're actually leaving in 3 days. My husband and I were living with them, but as soon as they said they were moving, we found a new place. It's maybe half the size of their house. For the past 2 months, our new place has been sitting completely empty, plenty of time to start moving things little by little and store whatever they can't take, which I'm totally against. For me, they would ship all or throw everything away, but they didn't. They left everything until now, and the house is still a disaster. Meanwhile, my whole life fits in 2 suitcases. I don't need or want anything from their house. The clutter is so overwhelming it mentally blocks me. I literally shut down the moment I walk in there, it's too much. And now, on top of everything, they expect us to store their stuff. For a whole year. Piles of things I didn't buy, don't need, and never asked for. My father-in-law even complained that we're running late and that I'm not helping. But help with what? This isn't my mess. If it were up to me, I would leave everything behind and never look back. Once they're gone, I already know I'll be throwing a lot of it away, because I refuse to let our new home turn into a copy of this chaos. Honestly, am I being mean here? Because I feel like I'm the only one seeing how insane this is. Relevant comments. Commenter. There are small businesses that will come and clear the clutter, haul away and donate what they are not taking. Have them hire one. What city? OP in response. We are not in the US. Commenter. NTA they can pay a year's rental on a storage unit and dump their house full of crap there. OP in response. My mother offered her garage which she doesn't use, but we would then have to install gates, which is not a bad deal considering that I am throwing either ways and leaving few things.
Wired Abyss here. It sounds really weird that the in-laws just expect them to just handle dealing with all their junk. I don't really get that, and I don't understand what they expect them to do with it either. That's something the in-laws should have figured out on their own.
4th post, 10 years later since 17 and it's over. Posted on r/divorce, 4 months ago. I met my now husband when I was 17 F, and he was 29 M, in 2015. We started dating when I was 19 and we kept long distance as I left to study. There were, of course, lots of problems including going through a complicated discovery. He was a regular at massage parlors. Somehow we managed and got married in June 2024. I won't go into details, but I cheated on him after a year of marriage and he still wants to try to fix things. I feel like I never truly forgave him and I feel awful. I shouldn't have gone through the marriage. Simple as that. I felt sad for him and afraid I would end up alone. So does it show me he's one of the best persons I could ever have in my life, taking me back after cheating? I feel bad about the 10 years, one of marriage, but I am also afraid of regretting down the line, as again I'm ignoring the signs. I completely disrespected him and I think I am not worthy of the marriage. I would love to hear about your experience. Relevant comments. Commenter. Girl, get you therapy. That's probably why you keep getting groomed alpha. Commenter. Sorry, but a 30 years old pushing for a relationship with a teenager is a huge red flag. At that stage of your lives there is literally no way you had anything in common like interests and life goals, and to be quite frank, since you met when you were still technically a child, I would revisit the beginning of the relationship, so seek any signs of grooming. On top of that, regular at massage parlors? I'm assuming these were happy ending massages? If so, I would have definitely left. Girl, you don't need this in your life. Someone who is engaging in risky sexual behaviors behind your back is bringing that risk home to you and your health without you knowing. That is not a sign of someone who loves and cares about you. OP in response. That's what I never figured. At 19 years old I found out he would go to these places and have sexual encounters. Why did I stay? Any normal girl my age would be gone. I wasn't comfortable with that, especially because I was young and a virgin. I lost to him at 21. For months after marriage, out of curiosity I ended up seeing archived messages of him booking with an escort, I would say his regular, back in 2021-22 when he promised he wasn't doing it. We were not married yet. On his defense, we weren't serious. Our relationship was complicated and I did talk to this or that person, and I would share about the friendships I had with the opposite sex, but I never went further than that. Back then he would tell me he didn't want to be the reason for me to not experience things. I think it was completely weird. He was the first and only until I got involved with someone else. Sometimes I think I go back to that to justify what I did, which was to be interested in someone and pursue. I hear what you say. I got no wishes to save the relationship, but I'm afraid of society, my mother, his parents, and guilty feelings.
Wired Abyss here. So after a year of marriage, she cheated on him after he'd been going to massage parlors and whatnot. But also, She met her husband when she was 17 and he was 29 back in 2015. Oof, that's a heck of an age gap. Uh, this relationship was probably doomed from the start. It honestly sounds like she just needs some time to be single by herself. Doesn't sound like she's been able to experience just living life as a single person, really, as an adult.
Fifth post, 27F49M shy in public. Posted on r/age gap relationship, 3 months ago. I 27F met 49M at a conference, and from the moment I approached the booth, there was something about him. We exchanged contacts and I couldn't stop thinking about him. We have been together since May, but I'm still shy in public and worried about what the others will think. I know I shouldn't care, but that's something I struggle with. Relevant comments. Commenter. Your concern for society's conventions likely will fade over time. Think of the matter this way: those who really care about you, including your Reddit family, want you to be happy. Cynics can pound sand. Commenter. It's so rare and special to find someone you really click with and care for. I understand the weird looks and judgment of others can be hard, but you just have to do your best to ignore them and focus on how much you enjoy this person. Coming from a 31F dating a 48M for 8 years. Some people will just never understand, and that's okay. No one else needs to understand your relationship but you and the person you're with. I know it's easier said than done, but I hope that helps a bit.
Wired Abyss here. First things first, I think this subreddit is kind of wild. And the fact that they're all encouraging this relationship with her new boyfriend is really unfortunate. Just from the other comments on this post, it really seems like people that are trying to convince themselves that it's okay to have a huge age gap in a relationship and it's never a red flag, which sometimes it's a big red flag.
Sixth post, I miss him in the home. Posted on r/divorce and several other subreddits, 2 months ago. I asked for separation and left home. I miss him in the house. That really bothered me, was clutter after clutter. I miss being there. I miss opening the door and have the dog jump on me. I miss even being alone in the room. We didn't spend much time together in the house, and I miss that. I miss the fact of knowing he's just next door. I miss shouting his nickname around the house. I even miss him not helping me and later show how happy he is because I handled all the cooking. I moved in with a new relationship and all seems normal. We do everything together. In fact, he does more around the house and I have time to relax. I would expect to feel happier. Am I used to chaos and I miss it? Relevant comments. Commenter. Missing something doesn't mean it was necessarily good for you. People can totally love and miss any number of toxic friends, lovers, jobs, anything really. Maybe journaling will help? OP in response. You are right. I'm trying to understand if I miss familiarity or him, and I keep reminding myself why I left. And there's guilt and the sensation of, well, maybe I can fix it. Is it that bad? And hate this feeling. Commenter. This will not be popular. You have not processed your grief, which is impeded by rebounding. I would strongly suggest therapy and postponing that new relationship until you have gone through the journey. Commenter. Sounds like you moved on to someone else pretty quickly. Are you sure you're ready for that? If you're still missing your husband even though he's bad for you, there's your answer.
Wired Abyss here. She definitely needs to just be single for a while. She has too many conflicting emotions about stuff. She's never been single as an adult. It's time.
Seventh post, I left my husband for another man. Karma is hitting me. Posted on r/true off my chest. 7 days ago I made a choice that I thought was about love and a better relationship, a better future. I left my husband, the person who had committed to me, for someone else. Oh, and how this new man encouraged me, showing me that I deserved better. My husband wasn't perfect, he didn't fully meet my needs, didn't want to change, and I often felt unseen. But I now know he would never do something like this. Then this other man came along, exciting, loving. Had a better education, a better job, he was smart and felt like I had found the one. He helped me cooking, helped around the house, treated me with all love because I deserved everything, as he said. He had these amazing plans for us, and at the time, it felt real. A house, a baby, a life together. We rented a house, bought a car, personalized our living room, our bedroom, got kitchen appliances, everything. It felt like we were building a life together, and I trusted it completely. We were long distance and trying to find ways for me to move or him to join. He packed everything and brought over. From another country. But now, he's gone. After 8 months. Suddenly, the future we built in my mind doesn't exist. He tells me our age gap is too much, that he doesn't see a future without losing himself. That he stopped doing the things he enjoyed because he wanted to talk to me. He says the relationship with his daughter is bad because he gave me too much attention. I'm just shocked, but this is karma. He's far and doesn't talk much. Slowly, I'm starting to realize that maybe this is just a way for him to make leaving easier. I left a committed relationship for someone who ultimately isn't willing to fight for us in the end. And now I'm here, heartbroken, trying to figure out how to live with my choice, my sadness, and the painful realization. Relevant comments. Commenter. Grass is not greener on the other side, it's greener where you water it. Commenter. So I peeked at your comment history. Both your husband and your lover were pretty much twice your age. Your husband cheated on you at massage parlors and with prostitutes. Despite him being much older, he still lived with his hoarder parents. Consider that you may have been fooled and manipulated by older men. Take a break from men and please find yourself first. Find your place in the world. And stick to men in your age group.
White Abyss here. It definitely sounds like her new boyfriend got what he wanted out of the relationship, and now he's distancing himself now that she's not as exciting or whatnot. She definitely needs to be single for a while and really figure herself out and why she keeps on being drawn to these men that are twice her age. Let's hope for the best for her.